welcome to 𝗥𝗵𝗲 and Ria show. Thank you for always tuning in because 80% is showing up, and Ria and we value you because you always show up. And this is one of the reasons as to why you are successful. So, we really appreciate your time. Now, if you have not tuned into the show and you're wondering what is the show about, well, Ria, she talks about real estate and I talk about mindset. So together, her and I, we bridge the gaps that you achieve success in your life and in business. So today I'm going to take over the conversation, but before I do, I want to welcome each and every one of you on the show today. Thank you for tuning and welcome. My name is 𝗥𝗵𝗲.
My name is Ria, and
welcome to our show. What I want to talk about is the knowing doing gap. And what the knowing doing gap simply states is that knowing doing gap, what that simply states is where are you now? The knowing doing gap. So what this phenomenon states is that where are you today in your life, right? Where are you in your life? So you could be in your work right now, and knowing doing gap is if your boss told you to do a particular task, okay? If she or he told you to do a particular task, and that task, you need to do it, you need to get done, but then are you doing, right? So there's a gap. So if you are here in your workplace, you are here in your life, and you want to get to here, you have to change your frequency, right? You've got to change your frequency. It's like the same, it's the analogy also that I want to give to you. Is the analogy of a radio station, right? So radio station, you could be at an FM dial or you could be at an AM dial. Now, if you want to get to the FM frequency, but you are thinking, right, your thoughts, and if you recall many conversations ago, I talked about, your thinking, your feeling, and your actions. If your thinking is at a low vibration, right? If your thinking is at a low vibration, you are negative, you are pessimistic, right? You are pessimistic about everything at work, with people, and you're so pessimistic, you're so negative, it drains people. And then if you are vibrating, if you are on that vibration, how is it at all possible that you are going to achieve and get to the FM dial? In life and in business, you cannot. So what I tell you, what I teach you, you have to pay attention. Knowing what you're supposed to do and then doing what you're supposed to get done, but you're not doing. Why do we not do it? So ask yourself this question: why don't we get things done? Why is that? Why? Is because procrastinate. Procrastinate is the biggest. This is actually the biggest killer, because if you procrastinate, biggest killer to success. Because if you procrastinate, what are you doing? When you are procrastinating, you are telling yourself, and you are telling yourself, oh, well, you know what, I will take my time. I will take my time to get this done, or I will take my time because it's not urgent. But everything is urgency. Everything is urgent. And how you move forward, how you move forward, this is the momentum. This is the momentum, right? It's speed. And we love speed, right? We love speed. And if you get things done and you're always on a constant movement, on a constant move to getting things done in your workplace, you are proactive, right? Now you're proactive. Now you're proactive. So let's look at what is the upside. So as I gave you that analogy, okay, so I gave you that analogy of this one. To get to the FM frequency, that frequency, you got to train your mind. And this all comes down to your mindset shift. How are you shifting the way you look at yourself, the way you operate, the way you go about your day-to-day life in your work? As I said, do you procrastinate? If you are told by your boss to do a particular task, do you get it done? Do you leave it for a couple of days and you're unproactive? You take that mindset of, it's not urgent. But when you look at it that way, then how do you progress to the FM dial? Because it's impossible. If we want to listen to a radio, we want to listen to the FM frequency, but if our mind is at that state, we are on a lower vibration, right? Which is your conscious. You're at your conscious mind. And your conscious mind, if you recall, your conscious mind is, it operates from, it's your intellectual. It is your intellectual or your thinking. So I just want to share this with you because this is such a very, very very important concept that most people just do not realize, or most people just do not pay attention, or most people just don't really care. And it's how you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you're a procrastinator, in life, then how are you ever going to succeed? Because, success comes, are you willing to take those actions? Which is I shared your thoughts, feelings, and actions, right? Are you taking actions every single day to improve your mind, to improve your body, to improving yourself? And this is one of the biggest hacks that people just don't realize because they're not willing to put in the work. So knowing, doing, gap, it is very, very important that you need to start paying attention. You need to start paying attention to how you are thinking. Are you thinking positive? Are you thinking negative? Are you on a low vibration, the high vibration? And always track yourself. I mean, that's one of the most important things. You need to track yourself. And when I began to do this, it really kind of changed everything. It changed the perspective of how I see things, of how I do things. And it really is so important. So I really want you to start paying attention to your thoughts, feelings, and actions. What vibration, what frequency are you at? And determine on what frequency are you at track how you were feeling throughout the day? Do you get angry? Do you get, on a subconscious level, what is it telling you? Do you get angry? Are you reactive? Or are you proactive? On the flip side, are you proactive? You're taking actions in your work, in your business. And this is what you really need to pay attention, because it is very, very important that if we don't do this, then nothing changes, nothing changes. So I want you to, pay attention every single day. I'm going to stop here because I know this is actually very, very deep, and I want you to register. I want you to register this, knowing, doing. What is that gap? Is there a gap? Do you see yourself gap narrowing, or do you see yourself? The gap is, is widening. If it's widening, you need to really do the work. You need to track yourself as to where are you today in how, what's your mental state. And based on your mental state, you be able to track, and you need to come narrow as to your thinking, feeling, and actions, and how they are producing results for you today. So if you have any questions, that's drop it in the chat. Love to answer any of your questions. But, let me know. Let me know what you thought about this chat, because it is very, very deep, and I will come back to this, and I think it's just relevant to know about it.
Thank you, 𝗥𝗵𝗲. When you discuss about procrastination and shared, what procrastination is, one of the things that made me thought to myself, we're both like action takers, and one of the things that came up to my mind is that I do things. It feels like procrastination, but I feel like it's also the priority that contributes to the procrastination part. So let me be more granular. Let me explain it. So for example, with my apartments, right? I'll touch base with, with what I do every day. So I have a lot of lists, and it may seem procrastination to others, but I feel, and it's more like the priority that I do, which one is more important and which one is the least important, because there's 24 hours in a day. And this is where the leadership mindset, this is where we duplicate ourselves come into place, because I have 24 hours in a day. We all have 7 days in a week. And so our time is limited, whether we have 8 hours of sleep, and we have some fun time for ourselves, and then we have work. So there's a bunch of things that we need to prioritize, especially if I, as a business, or our listeners are a business where they are growing, the list to prioritize just pile up. And it is not because I'm procrastinating. It is because my list is piling up very fast, more than I can tackle it. And I realize that in order for me to prioritize things, I got to step out from me doing, instead of where, others now, where I duplicate myself through others, through hiring other people, so that those lists that are priority gets done. And it made me think, at a certain point, Brandon Dawson talks about breakthrough points. And now I'm understanding it, that at a certain point, when you're hitting that breakthrough, your list piles up. Now, when you hit that breakthrough point, you will say, how can I do it? Who do I need to hire? Who can help me get out of this, get to the next level, and succeed, go up, succeed through that break point? And this is where other people now plays a part. So people move businesses. So this is where we now depend on others to help us with our business. So if I have 24 hours in a day, if I hire somebody, that's another 7 hours or 8 hours that I can add into my day. And so if you add a couple of people into your hours, So you can borrow their 8 hours for one person, another 8 hours for the second person, 8 hours for the third person. Now you just accumulated 28, 16, 24. I just added 24 hours in my 8-hour day. And so now all those procrastination, all those lists in my to-do list, which which someone thinks that I procrastinated, now gets done, because this is where I'm able to duplicate myself and help, do the checklist, do those lists that's in my procrastination items that I have not done. So hopefully when you guys are hitting up that breakthrough point and you're at the verge of either falling back or leaping forward, right? It's the question of who can help me? How can I do it? So I have to get out of that. I can do everything. If I want to get it done perfectly, I depend on myself. No, I need to get things done. So I need now the help of others. So that's a really realization, when you talked about procrastination, that came into my mind. So thank you for sharing.
No, that's great. No, thank you for sharing that. Because procrastination, also, and no, that's great. But procrastination, people procrastinate because they, people are lazy. You got to be realistic. People are lazy that they just don't want to do it. They just don't want to do that. So that's where I was coming from, is that why don't people do things? Why don't they want to do things or get things done? Because either they're procrastinating, either they find it difficult, either you find that particular task difficult, is where most people say, well, I'll just leave it for another couple of days. Oh, I can't do this. Or there are so many excuses. And this is what I was saying. If you come up with excuses every single time because you find a particular task difficult, or you can't handle it, or you can't do it, this is what in your subconscious mind, this is what you're saying to yourself. You're saying to yourself, no, don't tell me this. I don't want to do this. You put a signal, right? A red light. You say, no, stop there. I don't want to do this. Let me take a back seat. When I'm ready, I'll do it. That's procrastination. But then where are you from your thinking, feeling, and acting on what you're supposed to be doing? So this is what I was saying to you also. Procrastination, most people are not willing to do it. They're not willing to do that because, life is difficult. It's not an easy ride, but you got to tackle, you got to see yourself, you got to rewire. Every one of us has to rewire, reprogram. I had to rewire, reprogram my mindset, how I was thinking to where I'm thinking today. How do I operate today? And this is what I want you to do. So I've got homework for you. I want you to track yourself from your subconscious, track yourself. How are you feeling? How are you feeling throughout the day, in your business, in life? Are you reactive most of the time? If you are reactive, I 100% guarantee you are putting some things off, or you're not willing to get things done because things bother you. Right? So track yourself, measure your mindset. How are you thinking, feeling, and do you act on those? Even when the tough gets going, what are you doing? What are you willing to do? And how are you willing to step out, take that quantum leap so it's not holding you back, right? So I want you to do this. I want you to really do this because I want to benefit you, not me. It's not us, it's you. You are the ones that you need to always constantly pay attention to your mind, because your mind is your biggest weapon. Your mind is your intellectual mind is very, very, yes, your mind is complex, but it's also there to serve you. How do you utilize your mind? As Ria said, we all have 24 hours in a day, but do you compartmentalize your life, right? What are you doing every single day, every single minute? What are you doing? Do you track your progress? What are you doing? How do you go about? What are your tools? What are your tools? All right. I know today's conversation was a deep one, but I will come back to this because we all need to have those moments in our lives where we don't want to take a back seat all the time. We want to be progressive. We want to progress. And therefore, that's going to require that we shift our mindset. We shift as to where we are today, knowing, remember, the knowing, doing gap. Is there a gap that you are seeing in your life? You want to shorten that curve, not widen. All right. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. As always, Rhea and I appreciate you. So make the rest of the day the best of your day, and we will see you soon.